The case has stayed controversial in part because it just sounds so damn outrageous. And because, again, and I have to underscore this, almost all of the attackers or detractors or debunkers, certainly, skeptics to some degree, have not read the study. And again, that's somewhat insulting. Uh, the rationale there is, why should I even bother? This is obviously such nonsense. But it isn't. And I would have to say, in the several hundred UFO-related events and incidents that I have looked into on my own over the past decades, or with Bud, or with other researchers, this is the case for me that will not go away. In detracting from it, also, one takes attention away from what Bud maintained, and I certainly agree with, one of the most important regular news stories of the 20th century. It wouldn't surprise me to learn, if we could learn such things, that there have been other well-known, politically connected individuals who have gone through UFO abduction. The odds are overwhelming, just as a demographic, that that's been the case. This happens to be the Politico, so to say, that we know went through it, and that Bud actually met with, and Linda certainly met with on occasions. Linda's son, now grown up, of course. More recently, the story of Witnessed allegedly was the subject of a Netflix three-part miniseries. What I can say about that is limited because of a legal action that I personally initiated that now is in New York State Supreme Court, waiting upon the court to assign us a evidentiary hearing, at which point the defendants and their attorneys will have to decide whether or not we have a case, and one that we would win, in which case they settle, or whether or not they want to take us to court, in which case we are prepared to go and continuing to prepare. Anyway, what happened there is it's so tawdry and so kind of cheap. It sounds like an exaggeration in itself. Bud had been married to a woman named Carol Rainey, an aspiring documentary filmmaker. When that relationship fell apart and they divorced, Carol made it very clear to everyone she knew that she was going to find a way to destroy her ex-husband and this particular case and the credibility of this particular witness. And in fact, she died doing just that, but not before securing a partnership with a filmmaking team in London who approached Linda through a major production company with the understanding that that production company was going to make this documentary. Linda relied on me to help her come to an informed decision. And I fully researched this company, and they're sensational. Absolutely outstanding, first-rate documentaries, tackling controversial subjects respectfully and well-informed. But they simply handed us over to these contractors as though we were going to be working for them, and in fact didn't realize for many months that we were not working for them. Ultimately, what happened was the central fact that the production was determined by was under the leadership, so to say, of Bud's ex-wife, was kept from us. It was the ultimate lie by omission. They knew that if we were aware of that, even in the smallest way, neither one of us would have participated. And so that lie was maintained. Neither one of us had any idea that was the case, and both of us, in good faith, felt and understood fully that we were working on a documentary about this book and Linda's case. And it wasn't until we had our private screenings, mine in England in mid-September, that we realized that we had been completely had, and that we had participated in a reality TV show pitting Linda against Carol, with the fake understanding that Carol had been there throughout this whole process. If you watch the series, and you should, it's a masterwork in deception. It is written in such a manner that you understand that Carol is there from 1989 now on, right through 95, and assessing the witnesses and supportive, and then seeing the problems, and then questioning her husband's involvement and Linda's ethics. And in fact, she didn't even meet Bud until 1995, when the book was complete. And she got her revenge after she died. She died in 2023. And I could go on. I'm not going to, because again, this is a case in process. But it was actually the most disruptive, depressing, completely unpleasant experience I have ever had in my professional life. And I include problems around Left at East Gate, a book about the Rendlesham Forest incident that had come years earlier. It really threw me into a state of despair and betrayal that we had been so misled. And essentially, what are you going to do about it? This thing is coming out on Netflix in 6 weeks. You're a bug on the wall. We're a big production company. You lose. And I lived with that for some days until that terrible depression mutated and became rage. And I did something I never thought I would do, which was find the right attorneys, raise the needed funds, and get this case going. And we'll see what happens further down the line.